What's up, guys? Welcome to the 138th episode of the Closer Club. And today we are filming with Steve Bradbury, who is the champion trap shooter. As you can see him right now. See if we can get it. He's already 2 for 2. We're going to do one more and then we're going to sit for this interview. Now, Steve is top out of our Fort Worth office. He, boom. All right, Steve, you ready? All right, so Steve's going to come around. We're going to get this set up for this interview. Steve is a champion trap shooter. He is a machine. He happens to be a great human being and a great realtor as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about all that. So, all right, man. I did a quick little intro while you were talking there. And we're live, by the way. We may have to show them what your equipment looks like in a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't get censored for guns. Let me make sure we're set up here. All right, guys, give us a second. We had to go live shooting. All right, let's do it, Steve. How you doing, man?
Good.
All right, guys, I'm going to do this intro again because we had gunshots in the background. Hello, everybody. My name's Alex Vidal, and welcome to the 138th episode of the Closer Club. And today, I'm Regional Vice President for Coldwell Banker, who is a huge supporter of the Closer Club. Today, matching hats, I'm sitting here with Steve Bradbury, who I mentioned earlier is not only an amazing human being, but he happens to be one of our top agents out of our Fort Worth office. And he actually is a pretty amazing trap shooter. He taught me how to trap shoot a few months ago as well. Let's do this, man.
Sure.
Steve, I want to put real estate aside for a minute.
Okay.
How long have you been in the business?
16 years.
16 years. Okay, so you started when you were 21.
Yeah.
Yes. What were you doing? What were you doing before real estate?
I sold sporting goods at high schools and colleges, so I was on the road traveling to different schools and anything from cleats to helmets to leather jackets, patches, pads, shoulder pads, booster club, everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So what? Okay, so you're doing that. How do you make the move from that to real estate?
Well, I was on the road the whole time.
Yeah.
So I worked from 6:30 in the morning till 10, 11 at night. So real estate, well, I'm already doing sales calls all day long. I might as well sell something that's a bigger ticket item.
Got it. So interesting. If you were to look at that career and you look at your real estate career, what were the parallels? Was it just same system, different widget, or what was like?
Well, there we had repeat customers. Obviously in real estate we do too, but it's cyclical. Every 6-7 years we might see the same people. I was on the phone calling coaches, setting up appointments. Same thing you're doing now with real estate, prospecting or touching base with past clients or sphere of influence, and touching base and can I take your order?
Yeah.
I want to order a new house.
If it were only that easy. Right?
Yeah, I wish it was. Yeah, if we have drive-thrus.
It is. So talk to me about. I love that, and I love the sports background. Were you? I know there's a lot of shooting clubs now. Were there shooting clubs back then when you were doing this?
Yeah, there were shooting clubs. Yes, and back in college at Baylor, we shot some at Waco Skeet and Trap just for fun, and never really thought about getting into it. And drove by Fort Worth Trap and Skeet every day almost, it seemed like. I was like, I ought to stop. And never did.
Yeah.
And then finally just, stumbled in here and shot a couple of days and joined.
That's right. And how long have you been shooting now?
Well, I've shot my whole life. Shot sporting clays, for 20-something years off and on, just for fun and a few little charity tournaments, things like that. And had shot skeet and got involved with a youth team out here, and they shot trap and skeet. It's like, well, this is kind of fun. Maybe I ought to sign up for a tournament. And I signed up for a Friday tournament, and I was shooting pretty good. I mean, I didn't, just bare bones was my knowledge. I just knew that I could hit a target. So I joined the Amateur Trap Shooting Association, came out here. You get 4 boxes, 100 rounds, so each box is 25. I missed my very first ATA target.
Okay.
And then I shot 4 straight 24s.
Wow.
And I missed my 100th ATA target. I'm sure there's people that say they could have done that, but I know I did it, which was embarrassing to miss your first and your 100th. Yeah. And I shot a 96, and the guy that was running the shoot said, "How'd you do it?" I said, "I shot 96. I said, that'll be good for something. He said, you can pack up and go home. I said, no, I'll win something. He goes, not with the 96.
Amazing.
So, and I think there was a 99 won that day.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And what is the difference? And I know you explained it to me that day, but
Yes.
remind me, what's the difference between trap and skeet?
All right, trap is you've got a house in the middle of the field, as you saw where I was, shooting from the 16-yard line, and the target can come out 5 different ways. You have no idea which way it's going to come out.
Okay.
And you shoot 5 shots from each post. You could conceivably get 5 of the same targets. It's just the machine is rotating and it stops. And then it's got different yardages. So that's a different trap event. That's handicap trap. And the furthest you can go back is the 27-yard line, and the closest you can get up is the 19.
Okay.
So in a handicap event, the guy at the 27 is competing with the person at the 19 and 20.
Yeah. But you're shooting essentially from a box in front of you.
Yes.
That's going random.
Yes, and
right?
you're breaking the targets, 30, 35 yards in front of you.
So that's trap. What's skeet?
Skeet has 8 stations, so it's a semicircle. So this is station 1 right over here, and we're between 1 and 2. So you shoot a high house and a low house, and then you shoot a double.
Okay.
The high house is here, a low house is there. Same thing on 2, 3, 4, and 5. You just shoot 1 target from the high and 1 from the low.
And you know where it's going. It's not random at all.
No, you know where it's going, but misses happen.
Yeah.
And it's usually something here, and we can cover that because I've got a great segue into real estate. And then you move around. 6 and 7 are the same thing. 2 singles and 2 doubles. Well, when you get to 8, the field's cut in half, so you've got a really close shot coming at you. Can't shoot it behind you, you got to shoot in front of you. And then at low 8, you have a low target, and if you haven't missed, you have an option target. And that's what makes it perfect 25 in skeet.
Got it.
Or your first miss, you have to shoot that target again. They'll say, dead option or lost option. I think, shooting trap, if I go out and I shoot a 24, well, I'm a little upset.
It's amazing.
I shoot a 23, really upset. And when I started shooting skeet, I shoot a 23, shoot a 24, and give me another box. I'm ready to go again. I can do better. Same thing with real estate. I just get a little bitty listing. Okay, it's done. Give me another one. Give me another one. So I equate skeet, missing targets or trying to get better in real estate. I kind of got stuck into trap. The competitive shooting there, local shoots, state shoots, different states, and then the national shoot, the Grand American I've been to 3 times. It's about 13 days. You shoot 2,400 targets in that time.
Jesus. That's a lot of wear and tear on the shoulder, man, because that's a lot of recoil.
Yeah, it can be, but guns are set up for it, and it's.
How does shooting professionally, or it's I would call it professional. You're competing.
You're
right?
competing, yeah.
So you're competing at some level. Maybe it's
Yes.
not the top, but you're competing. You're competing
Right.
for money, right?
Right.
And you've invested heavily in your equipment. We'll talk about that
Correct.
too. What are the lessons that you've taken from shooting that you apply to real estate? Like, what has shooting taught you that you can apply in real estate? Other than wanting to shoot clients from time to time. No, it's a joke. That'll probably get edited, not edited, but it'll get censored.
No, it's well, it's like preparing for an appointment. You got the anticipation phase,
Okay.
and then you got the action phase, and then you go back and either reinforce it or reevaluate what happened, what you do. So shooting, getting ready for a competition, I know what I need to do. Then it's go out there and do it, and then okay, what happened, or what if I made a mistake, and mistakes happen, and sometimes one target will cost you. I will try to evaluate and make some changes. So, like in a listing appointment, there's a book called "With Winning in Mind" by Lanny Basham.
Okay. What's it called?
With winning in mind.
With winning in mind. Okay.
And
so you just stole my last question, which is a book recommendation.
Well, and he's was an Olympic shooter, rifle shooter, and he trains golfers, he trains business executives, he trains other competition shooters, and there's all sorts of little lessons in there. So we're talking, and I'm conscious that we're here, and subconsciously I know you're going to ask me questions. Same thing in real estate. Consciously I'm prepared for the listing appointment. Subconsciously I know what to do. Same thing in shooting. Consciously I know I've got an event that day, and I've got to let my subconscious mind know that when I say pull, the target's going to come out, I'm going to see it, and I'm going to break it.
Okay.
Now, if you miss it, say, well, gosh, how'd you miss 2 targets? Let's focus on the 98 I hit. How did they break? Did they blow up? Did they chip them? So, I think last year I went through a spell or a run, really, listings. Everybody I talked to, I was getting the listing, and it just became second nature. I'm not gonna lose. Like, I'm not gonna miss. Then I didn't get one. Then I didn't get another one. And I said, okay, why did I not get these listings? I said, well, hold on. What did I do to get these other listings? So I went back and I said, okay, I did this and I did this, and I got lazy or sloppy. I mean, it's like a target. You're not going to break them all. I'd love to get every listing that I go on, and sometimes you're just not going to.
Got it. It's interesting. So how many, because you said about the subconscious, but that subconscious gets developed by repetitive nature, right?
Correct.
Repetitive action.
Correct.
On average, how many shots are you taking a month, a week, a year?
Oh.
And I know we talked about this because we talked about your ammo bill once.
Yes. Oh, maybe 700 to maybe 1,000.
In what time frame?
Of ammo?
Yeah. And is that a year? Is that a month?
No. That's like a week.
A week.
Yeah.
So you're taking. All right. So let me rephrase this. So you're taking 700 to 800 shots a week.
Correct.
Right. You're competing how frequently?
Well, it's
on average.
Well, I think if you looked at it in total number of days, it would be 35 to 40 days a year.
Okay. So you're shooting 800 shots a week times 52, so that's 4,000. No, it's more than that. That's 40-something thousand shots a year.
Yes.
That you're taking to compete a tenth of the time. Not even.
Correct.
Not
Correct.
even.
Yeah.
And when you look at real estate, again, and this is something that I talk about all the time. You talk about top athletes, my buddy who's a pilot, whatever. Emergency light comes on in a plane, or you're cycling in the Tour de France and it's down to the last day after 3 weeks. How do you handle that pressure? It's that repetitive nature.
Right.
It's that instinct. Right. It's amazing.
Yeah, you move on. I mean, a miss happens, so don't dwell on it. You're only as good as your next shot. And you talk about dwelling on it. You go to these big shoots, you're gonna have to be perfect, and I'm not perfect at all. There's so many people in the state that are so much better than me. We were in Kansas, and beautiful facility. You're shooting over all these sunflower fields and wheat fields way out there. The background's perfect, and I was in the zone that day, and I actually was shooting with 4 of the guys from Texas, and we get to our very last station, and 98 targets I have literally blown up. The 99th target came out, and I missed. I looked down, picked up my shell, put it in my bag, no emotions. I could see everybody kind of staring at me. Mm-hmm. It's like, what just happened? And then I got to got my 100 target. It's the same target, and I turned it inside out. Everybody came over and said, what happened? I said, well, I broke 99. I smashed 99 of them. Yeah. Well, what happened on the 99th? And I said, I took it for granted. I knew I was going to hit it. And that's, and I've done that in listings. I've walked in the front door. I know I'm going to get this. Yeah, we're going to go with somebody else. So that's, I kind of slipped out of the subconscious mind there. I became aware of what was going on, and I didn't use all the tools that or the focus or the practice or the steps that I go through.
So complacency and assuming is what's gotten you in trouble.
Oh, of course. And in the book, With Winning in Mind, there's something it's just a little saying, and I've heard it other places. If you're going to be somewhere or be here, be all there. So if you're like in the interview right now, I'm being all there. I couldn't pick up my phone. I would get distracted. If I'm in front of somebody showing a house or a listing appointment, I need to be there and not have any other distractions. Same thing when you're on the trap field. No distractions. And a lot of trap shooters, and I do it as well, I'll put some blinders on, and I can't see movement left or right. It doesn't affect your field of view.
Got it.
But we can't go through life with blinders on.
Yeah. I'll tell you, Steve, it's so hard. Because even in the beginning of this, like we said, this is episode 138, right? In the beginning, and even to this day sometimes, I'm worrying, like, is the camera really... Because, there's nobody here. It's literally Steve and I. We came in, there's nobody here at the shooting range right now. I have no idea if that's filming. I have no idea. I hope it is. It was live. When I pressed the button you were shooting, it was live. When I turned it on us, it's live.
Yeah.
And here we are, and I'll never.
Well, I hope it is, because I don't want to do this again. Because as pale as my legs are from wearing long pants showing real estate.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, and you know, occasionally, and you learn as you go through. I remember I was filming an episode with a guy named Bedros Koulian. He ended up being episode 80-something, and that guy, that was probably one of my favorite ones. And off camera, he later told me that everything is your fault. Right? He's the one that taught me everything is your fault, because when it's your fault, you can peel the onion back enough to understand where you went wrong so that you can actually make the change. Because as long as it's someone else's fault, you can't do anything about it, or something else's fault. So I fly out to California. He's one of my 3 interviews. David Meltzer, big celebrity entrepreneur. Steve Howey, who is a guy on Shameless. I could never air that episode. It was too crazy. He's an actor on a show called Shameless. And then Bedros, right? And I filmed Bedros, and as we get in the car, as we're done, I get in my car to head to the airport. And I start listening back to the interview as I do every interview. And there's music playing in the background. I'm like, oh, that's weird. The radio's on while this is playing. Well, it ended up being that I forgot to, when I plug in the phone, one of the things I do, or plug in the mics, I check to make sure the music doesn't play.
Yeah.
Because what happens is I got complacent. I plugged it in, went straight to it, didn't do a mic check, didn't do anything. The mics worked, but for whatever reason, my phone recognized the mics for whatever reason as earphones, and just started playing the music in my phone over the interview.
Oh, goodness.
So I have this.
So we might have some theme music.
We may have some theme music going on, and luckily, very luckily, these celebrity entrepreneurs like to film their own content. So he had his own film crew also filming the interview, and I was able to get the footage from them. Oh. If not, it would have been crazy. Talk to me about real estate for a minute. Obviously, you've been in it for 16 years. You're crushing it, right? The parallels. And this is why I love filming athletes, and shooting is an athletic sport, no doubt. I mean, just the physical nature. If you've ever shot, and think about 800 shots, the wear and tear on the body. We've talked about that, the face, the shoulder. It's a lot you go through. But so the parallels to real estate are powerful. When you look at other common denominators that have helped you get to where you are in real estate, and you've already answered the book question, so we'll wrap it up here. What are some other things that you think you can attribute to why you've been able to reach the levels of success that you've reached?
Well, people will laugh. I'll say I'm a very caring and attentive person, and of course my sisters will start laughing at me. But it's your house. It's what you're going to buy. You have these needs, and I want to fulfill your needs. You want 3-bedroom. You want this. Let's go find it. Same thing with listing a house. This is what I want to get. These are my expectations. So at the end of the day, I want to make you, the client, happy and satisfied, to where you will be a proponent for me in the future. Either call me back to buy another place or to sell something, or you've got family and friends, and I try to be very attentive to the client's needs.
No, so it's not about you, it's about the client.
No, it's always about them.
Yeah. Oh, we're in real estate. You know how that game goes, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, so, and without them, I wouldn't be where I am or who I am. I mean, I wouldn't be able to take off at noon on a Tuesday
after a holiday.
After a holiday, and come shoot. So
it's amazing. Well, I'm going to go turn the camera off, and we're going to shoot a little bit before I head to Rockwall. Any parting words for the audience, other than if you want to know who Steve is, reach Steve.
Yes, right there. Number's right there. Give me a call.
There you go. Thanks, man.
You bet.
All right.